Hello, this is Amy from Be Healthy Enough. Are you ready for a 30-minute walk and learn? This one's actually going to be 32 minutes. The format's going to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to go 5 slow. That'll be our warm up. Then 5 fast. Then 4 slow and 4 fast. Then 3 slow and 3 fast. 2 and 1. And then I think we do it again. Can't remember that. But anyway, while you're exercising and moving with me, I'm going to teach you about belly fat. And maybe it's not fat. It could be something else. I'm going to share the hidden culprits that I've found and investigated with you, okay? You do need to put me away. I'm going to go off camera in a second. Put me in your ear. If you're out walking, just one ear. Phone in your pocket. If you're on your elliptical treadmill, make sure safety first always, okay? You can do this standing behind the chair, but you're not going to see me. But you can listen to me and learn, and I hope you get a good workout. Are you ready to get started? Let's get started. This is a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The first 5 minutes is slow, and it's our warm-up. I'm giving you 5 minutes in this one to get a nice warm-up. So let's do what we always do, check in with our body. How are you feeling today? I am so proud of you for pressing play and getting some movement with me, purposeful movement, going fast, interval training, going fast then slow, while you learn something about your belly fat, okay? Today we're talking about belly fat, and could it be something else? I'm going to unveil some of those hidden culprits that I've learned in doing my research. Started out doing research on having a strong core, but so many of you ask me about how to get rid of belly fat. I need to address that as well. It is definitely a fact of getting older. It's not your imagination. Your body does store more. I'm patting my tummy for you for some reason. It does store more fat around the belly as we get older. But there's a couple culprits that you need to think about. And maybe there is something that you can take action on, and maybe there's not, okay? But we're warming up right now. In fact, as I'm talking, I just got a hot flash. That's one of the things, hormone changes. I think that's the first one I'm going to talk about. But let's check in with our body. How are your feet feeling? How are your knees? How are those shoes? Are they on? Do you need to tie your shoelaces? Are your socks fitting good? You should make sure you have really good shoes for your outside walking. It really doesn't have an impact on how you walk. If you pronate or supinate, put the inside of your feet down first, or the outside. That's pronation, and then supination is if you walk on the outside of your feet. And if that affects the alignment of your knees, which affects the alignment of your hip bones into your leg bones into your hip sockets, which can affect your low back, which can affect your neck. So you can be walking wrong and have a sore neck. It's all connected. So when you think about making sure your shoes are good, taking a look, talking to an expert about insoles that you may need or different types of shoes you may need to make sure that your knees stay right over your ankles, and then your knees are right below your hips if you can, and walking and changing your shoes, walking with your good shoes and changing and buying new ones probably every 6 months, okay? Take a deep breath in. Let's bring your shoulders up and down. I'm going to talk about posture while we're doing this nice, slow warm-up, 5 minutes of warm-up. I want you to think about nice, tall posture, always, not just when you're walking. I'm sitting in my chair recording this for you with my timer here, but I'm sitting up nice and tall. I've got my abs slightly engaged, got my shoulders back and down, my chin slightly tucked so I'm not rounded over my computer. You're not rounded over, you're not looking right at the ground below. I need you to look at the ground if you're out walking so you don't trip. But you can gaze slightly ahead, okay? Or just glance down. And hopefully you're making sure you're safe. If you're out there walking, you've got me in your ear, phone is in your pocket. You've only got me in one ear so you can hear anything that comes up. Taking some breaths, listening to any pain, because if it's tapping on your shoulder, you don't listen, it will scream at you tomorrow. Go fast and slow when I'm doing that, but go at your own pace. Each time you do this, you might go a little bit faster. We've got 1 more minute of warm up, and I'm going to start introducing what this means. So belly fat, also known as visceral fat, it's a common concern of many, many women trying not to be healthier, but also to look better. Come on, a flat belly, who doesn't want that? So while excess belly fat is often associated with being overweight, so it's and that can be with an increased risk of other various health concerns, it's important to recognize that there could be also some underlying factors contributing to that accumulation. And it might not be just fat, it could be bloat. And so as your stomach's bloated, you can't really pinch an inch or a couple inches, but it definitely pooches out. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that here. We're going to dive deeper into some lesser known aspects and some potential hidden culprits behind why you might be having belly fat, and that's going to go beyond some conventional explanations. Okay, are you ready? Let's go 5 minutes fast. And I want you to really push it a little bit here. 5 minutes, maybe not your max because we're just warming up, but get that heart rate, pump your arms, heel toe, keep that nice posture, engage that belly, squeeze your glutes on the push off, okay? Get those glutes involved, let it help propel you, get your arms involved, let your back do some work by squeezing your shoulders back, okay? Keep going, get it at a steadier state than a faster state than you were just a few seconds ago. Then we're going to go 4 minutes slow when this is all over. And I'm going to talk about the first, and hopefully I can get through the second one as well. And I'll try, I forgot my last one, to remind you when we get to the halfway point. But keep an eye on that too if you're going out and then back. All right, the first one are hormonal imbalances, okay? Hormones really do play a crucial role in regulating our metabolism. And I'm talking about all sorts of hormones, not just estrogen, not just your sex hormones, which is estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, but other things like cortisol and insulin, and even your thyroid, which is a part of your hormones, okay? If those are off, of course, our sex hormones are going to go away. And for most of us, hormone replacement therapy will definitely help. It helped me so much reduce my weight, sleep better, but it's out of the question now because I've had breast cancer that likes those estrogen and progesterone hormones. So I have to find other ways to fight this belly fat that comes naturally with age, not naturally, comes to most of us with age, through other ways. So we're going to look at regulating our metabolism by looking at cortisol, which is your stress hormone. We're doing purposeful interval training, and that's the best for regulating that cortisol, that stress hormone. I found out that my cortisol was going up when I was doing intermittent fasting. My cortisol was at its peak at 11 a.m. when it should be at its peak when I first wake up, because my body was under stress because I was starving it. So I've changed from intermittent fasting to eating. I eat at 9 now, 9 and noon, and then a normal dinner. I try to stop eating at 7 to control my calorie intake. But I want to make sure that my stress is not too high, and then I make sure I get the right exercise as well. And then also insulin is another biggie that they're finding plays a crucial role in belly fat, because insulin is what regulates our blood sugar, okay? And if we're flooding our body with sugars and all of this stuff, and our insulin has to spike and then crash down, you can get into a spot called insulin resistance, which your body is immune to the insulin that your pancreas is excreting, and so it doesn't lower your blood sugar, so you're constantly going to be hungry. So a lot of these things are contribute to where your fat is stored, and then how your hunger hormones react, and that affects you. If you're hungry, yes, you can fight with willpower at times, but if you're starving, your willpower is going to go out the window as fast as it happens to me all the time. If I'm starving, I grab anything. You're not going to make smart choices. So looking at any imbalances, talking to your doctor, Let's see, increased levels of stress. I talked about that. Accumulation of belly fat. And just really, if I could say one last thing about belly fat and hormones, take a look at your stress. There are so many studies linking chronic stress to chronic disease and belly fat. So I want you to look at that. You're going fast for 45 more seconds. The next one I'm going to talk about is poor gut health, okay? There are quite a few studies now, and I'm going to tell you my story too, suggesting that an unhealthy gut microbiome can contribute to the development of abdominal fat. So the imbalance, what is a microbiome? Your microbiome is all the bacteria that's in your gut. And an imbalance in your gut bacteria can lead to inflammation. Okay, so if you don't have the right bacteria to digest and treat all your food, you can get into a situation, oh good, we get to go slow. Take a breath. Go slow while I talk about gut health, okay? What can happen if you've got bad bacteria, too much bad bacteria, not enough good bacteria, and it's going to lead to inflammation, and this can lead to what they call leaky gut syndrome. What happens, and this can lead to even more inflammation, what happens is that your intestines form holes, kind of like your intestines should be like a nice tight nylon, but sometimes if you've got leaky gut, it's like those fishnet stockings that we used to see a long time ago, and it lets food get out into your bloodstream, and your body doesn't know what that is, so it treats it as an invader, and it goes to attack it, and what that does is cause inflammation, and inflammation can lead to a ton of different autoimmune diseases, not being able to digest your food properly. For me, I had no idea. I was having problems, that's going to be too TMI, with my going to the bathroom regularly. I would go for days without going, and then it would be a lot. And it was very hard on my personal life because you didn't want to go anywhere if you hadn't gone potty. So I had some testing done. I actually sent in a poop test. I worked with a naturopath, and I found out I was sensitive to gluten. I had no idea. I never had the celiac type symptoms. If you eat gluten, you have to go to the bathroom right away. And I never felt bloated after eating gluten, which is breads and things like that. But my body, I actually have a marker in my genetic code for celiac disease. So I've got some things in my system that make me sensitive to gluten. And it showed up in blazing red flags on both my blood work and in my gut test. So I've been working on reducing gluten, which is helping with my inflammation, which is helping with my digestion, which is helping with my belly fat, okay? So poor gut health can lead to inflammation. It can also impair your metabolism. And the other bad thing is it can have you not be able to absorb your nutrients. And so if you're not getting the nutrients that your body thinks it needs, what's it going to do? It's going to have you crave more food, okay? If you're lacking in certain nutrients, there's a couple of charts, I maybe have to find one, that says if you're craving salt, you're missing some other nutrient. And of course, I don't know what that is right now. I should have put that down. But cravings are associated possibly with lack of nutrients, and all of this can influence the accumulation of belly fat. Have you thought about that? Do you get, after you eat something, do you get bloated? If that's true, you need to really talk to a nutritionist or a naturopath and figure out what that is, or do some experimenting on your own. It's really not hard. Just give up something that you think is a culprit. Eggs, things that are typical culprits are gluten, eggs, nuts, soy, corn. So those are some things that typically lead to some sort of reaction in gut health. So do a test, give it up for a couple days, and then add a lot of it in and see how you feel. We're still going slow. We're going to go 4 minutes fast in about 30 seconds. And then I'm going to talk about number 3. I'll get started on that. It is what it is. You are genetically predisposed to store body fat where it ends up. My body stores fat right in the middle. And some women have that nice thin waist, but their body fat gets stored on their hips or on their chest and their arms. You are predisposed. Okay, let's go fast. Ready? 4 minutes of fast. Heel, toe, heel, toe. Keep going. I want you to think about pushing off with those heels, squeezing your glutes. How's your posture? Take a deep breath in, pump the arms. Make this a little bit faster than that fast 5 minutes, okay? I'm going to go a little bit faster during this interval. Maybe not quite so much as we're going to go in the 3 and the 2 and the 1, but kick it up a notch, okay? This is where you're going to make a difference in your hormones. You're going to be regulating your cortisol. Walking and exercise actually does bring up some stress, but if you do it right, you can regulate and bring down your stress. How many of you have been super stressed or pissed off or angry and you go out for a walk and it really helps? That's your cortisol coming down, okay? So genetics can play a huge role in where your body fat is stored, including the tendency to store it right in the middle. Some individuals even have the predisposition of holding more belly fat, making it almost impossible to get a six-pack. That's me. I'll never get that unless I get it sucked out. So it makes it really hard when you're trying to be healthy, but you got that belly fat there. You may have to do some therapy work to just accept that that's what it is. Change how you feel about your belly. Accept it, hide it. It's not going to be a six-pack at our age. I am never going to wear a midriff top. I can wear some more flowing tops. That's okay. I'll just deal with it. Okay, the fourth one is not a no-brainer. It's not like the gut health, but it's actually not very rocket science. You sit too much. You're not moving enough. A sedentary lifestyle, which is prolonged periods of sitting or inactivity, can accumulate, excuse me, slurring my words here, it can contribute to the accumulation of belly fat. Yep. If you're not getting enough physical activity, you're slowing down the metabolism, you're decreasing your calorie expenditure, you're reducing your muscle mass. This can all lead to an increase in visceral fat over time, that belly fat. That's a no-brainer. You just need to keep moving more throughout today. And I'm not talking, this does not include exercise. There are a lot of fat people that exercise. That sounded terrible. I didn't mean to say that. There's a lot of sedentary people that exercise. Me being included some days. Some days I get my 30 minutes, I go for my walk, my mental health walk, I call it. I do my 30 minutes of strength and I sit on my freaking butt the rest of the day. That is a sedentary lifestyle. I'm trying to improve that by getting up every hour and moving, taking another walk after dinner, before dinner, after dinner. I'm trying to do that. You're still going fast, 4 minutes. How are you feeling? How's that posture? Take a deep breath in. Keep pumping those arms. We are past this. I missed it again. We're past the halfway point. We're about 2 minutes past, a minute and a half past. If you need to turn around, do so now. You're going fast for 4 minutes. We've only got 25 seconds left. Keep going. 15 seconds. Push it, push it, push it. And then we're going to go 3 minutes slow, and I'm going to get through the last two, which are, there we go. Go slow. Take a breath. This last one, number 5, the second to the last one, isn't a hidden culprit. We all know it. I've talked about it before. It's just an unhealthy diet. Well, you know, it's common that a poor diet high in refined carbohydrates, sugary beverages, and saturated fat can contribute to weight gain. It can also lead to excess belly fat. So you can gain weight, but when you're eating like this, because of the insulin, that hormone that I was talking about, when it gets out of whack, it makes you store all of the fat that you're gaining right around your belly. So getting rid of those sodas. And that's going to be another thing I talk about too. Not just regular sodas, but diet sodas. Trying to get away from foods that your body doesn't recognize. Yeah, it doesn't have any sugar, it doesn't have any calories, but your body still treats it as processed food. It doesn't know what it is. It doesn't know how to deal with it, so it throws your body out of whack. Minute and a half left in this slow. Take advantage of it. Do some stopping to pause and stretch if you need to. Stretching out, circling your ankles, stretching anything out that you need to. You're also, when you're, we call this crowding out. Let's see, we're crowding out some of those bad things. When you're eating all that refined foods, you're not making room for the good stuff, okay? Yeah, you could be eating a healthy diet and then snacking all the time on bad stuff. That's different. But when your diet is solely all this processed food, you are not getting the nutrients that you need or the fiber, which can disrupt those hormonal imbalances. And then it causes inflammation, and that all promotes fat storage right on the belly. Got that? So it's not just eating processed foods isn't just about excess calories. It's what it's doing to cause imbalance in not just your hormones, but in the things that your body can ingest and getting what it needs to do its job, its daily amazing job of trying to keep you healthy, keep you strong enough so you can do all those things that you love to do in life. Oh, how many times have you had, it's fun to go splurge, right? It's fun. It feels so good every once in a while. But have you had those junk food days? We traveled, I'm going to do 5 more minutes slow. We traveled recently. Keep going slow. And now let's go fast. Maintain that posture, heel toe, pushing off, using the glutes, engaging your core, pumping your arms. This is just 3 minutes, so I'm going to push you a little bit harder before I get into the last one. I'm going to finish up the unhealthy diet in my story, but we traveled. It's really hard to eat healthy when you travel. We were at my brother's, and I don't think for 3 days I had a vegetable. My husband said, well, doesn't the lettuce and tomato on that burger count? No, it does not. We were eating barbecue. It was good, and French fries and burgers. I shouldn't be talking like this. I think I'm hungry. But oh my gosh, I just felt the word toxic came to mind when I came home because I was drinking wine and having sugars and all that stuff. I felt sick. It was just like, we were at the airport and I said, all I want is a vegetable. And so we got this great big stir fry of vegetables. It was so heavenly. But you just feel bad. And when you feel bad, you don't want to exercise and do all those things that are good for you. And that leads me to the last thing, which definitely is a hidden culprit. One of the hidden ones I think more is the hormone imbalances and the gut health. Those are hidden ones that can be causing your belly to feel fat when it really isn't, or to store fat right there along the belly. Keep going. You are on where are we at? The 2-minute fast zone. Here we go. Keep going. The last hidden culprit, which you might not even think of, is sleep deprivation. Sleep, or the lack of good quality sleep, or inadequate sleep duration, how long you sleep, has been directly linked with an increase in weight gain and ab fat accumulation. When you're not sleeping a good quality sleep, for me right now, that's for me. I go to bed at my right time and I wake up at my scheduled time, but I'm up a lot during the middle of the night. As any of you that happen as you get older, I've talked to so many women and I've done so much research on sleep. I fall asleep okay, but I don't stay asleep. I wake up every hour. Sometimes it is to get up and go pee. Sometimes it's caused by a hot flash. But a lot of it's a racing brain. This is why I did my cortisol testing a few months ago, because high cortisol right before you go to bed can disrupt your sleep. In fact, that's why my mentor and she's also been a coach of mine, Deborah Atkinson, uh, her quote is intense early, light late. So do your intense exercise early in the morning. Okay, here we go. Let's go 2 minutes slow. Do your intense exercise in the morning and your light exercise late at night. Because if you do a really intense workout, it raises your cortisol, and that's going to disrupt your sleep. So again, poor sleep, not the quality. Now, if you're one of those night owls and you're pushing yourself to stay up late to get things done, but even though you have to set your alarm because you have to get up and go to work, or you have a client, or you have kids, or your dog needs to go out and go potty, that's quantity of sleep. You're going to need to reset your sleep schedule so you go to bed earlier. But poor sleep, quality and quantity, disrupts your hormone regulation, because as we're sleeping, our bodies are trying to get our hormones to a point of what they call homeostasis. You're still going slow for 1 more minute. Homeostasis, which is a balance. And when we don't sleep, we don't get good quality sleep or enough sleep, it throws it off. Some of the things that it throws off is, one is your appetite hormones. These are some things I didn't talk about when I talked about hormone disruption. But your appetite hormones, which are called leptin and ghrelin. The leptin is the hormone that says you're full. So if your leptin isn't working, you're going to eat more and never feel full. Okay, that can happen to a lot of people. And then also the other one is called ghrelin, and that's your hunger hormone. I always think of a little gremlin when I think of ghrelin, and it's that I'm hungry hormone. It's the one that sends your willpower out the door if you're starving and hungry and you're going to grab anything. You're going to grab that Snickers bar, or if you're trying to be healthy like me, I just grab that load full of peanuts or nuts, which are really high in calories. I have to watch that. Let's go 2 minutes fast. 2 minutes fast. And then we're going to go down to 1 minute slow, 1 minute fast, and we'll be done. Now, we're only at 2 minutes here, so I want you to bump it up. Let's really push it. We're in the last 5-6 minutes of our workout. Keep going, push, heel, toe, heel, toe. You're going to be really using those glutes. I'm going to take a sip of water, so you don't wonder what that gurgle and that gulp is. Yeah, that ghrelin hormone, I don't know about you. Sometimes if I'm jet lagged or something, my ghrelin, I am just hungry. I've even had this happen after I've taken a nap. Have you ever done that, taken a nap and you wake up and you're starving? This happens to a lot of people, since you didn't get enough time to reset those hormones, so your ghrelin's out of balance. But anyway, those can lead to, that ghrelin can lead to increased cravings and overeating. And what does that do? Causes you to gain weight. Okay, and a lot of people gain weight right around the middle. Keep going fast. We've got less than a minute. Good. I've read some studies with regards to leptin and ghrelin that really heavy people, if they're in that balance, they're never hungry. They're at a state right now where their body is just holding on to everything. Their cortisol's out of whack, their insulin resistance is out of whack, and they're not hungry. They feel full because their leptin is out of balance, and their body, they can't eat. It's kind of strange, but they won't lose weight even though they're in a calorie deficit, because their body says, you are starving me. And keep going. Let's go 7 minutes fast. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 1 minute slow. And then we're going to do 1 minute last fast. We're going to push ourselves that last minute while I finish up talking about these hidden culprits. And definitely a lot of them are tied to hormone balancing and your gut health. But yes, you can be overweight and cutting calories, like eating 500 calories a day and not losing any weight because your body is holding on to everything. I listened to a podcast by JJ Virgin, and her whole podcast was about eat more to lose weight. Your body needs fuel to function. It needs nutrients. It needs protein. If you are not giving it what it needs, you will not lose any weight. So you may have to eat a little bit more of something or go beyond that horrible, who set that horrible 1,200 calorie limit? It is ridiculous. I don't know anybody alive that can hit 1,200 calories that isn't anorexic. Okay, fast. This is the last minute of fast. I want you to push as hard as your body can possibly push right now, unless something's hurting. Really push. Push off with those feet. Use those glutes. Make sure your posture's good. Pump your arms. Keep going. Keep going. Go a little bit harder. If you want to go into a little jog and it does not hurt your knees, these last 30 seconds would be a perfect way to cap off this 32-minute workout. We're going to cool down. So that was a 30 minutes of intense high-low, okay? Keep going. 15 seconds right now. Go. You can do it. Go. Push yourself. Push yourself. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to have you do a nice slow walk. Keep walking. Let that heart rate come down. So the conclusion of all of this is that when belly fat is viewed as a cosmetic concern, it's crucial to recognize that it can also be influenced by various factors beyond mere weight gain, all right? Hormonal balances causing you to store more right there. Poor gut health causing bloating, which really isn't belly fat. Genetics, you're genetically predisposed to when you do gain weight, it stores right there. Sedentary lifestyle, unhealthy eating junk food all the time, not giving your body what it needs to be, the fuel burning powerhouse that it wants to be, not getting enough sleep. All of these lesser known contributors can cause excess belly fat. All right, so you're addressing some of these underlying factors. Did any of these resonate with you? I'd love for you to leave me a comment below. So getting a good balanced diet, proteins at each meal, whole grains, healthy fats, regular exercise, the right kind, strength training, HIIT intervals, stress management, moving more throughout the day and getting enough sleep. Boy, oh boy, that sounds like a lot, and I know it sounds difficult, but just tackle one of those at a time, and I promise you'll make some progress. Reach out if you need help. Reach out to a professional, naturopath, your doctor. They really can help you uncover some of those things with your hormones and your gut health, which they helped me. All right, now you are going to have to stretch on your own because the timer is coming to an end. Make sure you stretch out your calves and anything that feels tight. Take a moment a little later today to get on the floor or get in a chair and get a really great stretch. How did that feel? Question for you. Leave me a comment below. Did any of these other causes of belly fat resonate with you? Could you actually be having one of those problems and it's not just belly fat? Let me know. I'd love to learn from you. Anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe so I know to make more of these. That's it. I'll see you. You'll hear me in the next video. Bye.